tonight on CTV3 News. 3 persons, including 2 brothers, are tonight dead following an accident in the community of Sartaneja. While the families of the victims are demanding justice, police are investigating if the accident was intentional. Here in Orange Walk, the Guinea Grass Road also plays witness to a tragic RTA. The victim is an 18-year-old. And in the health sector area, the NHI board issues a firm public statement clarifying its position amid growing speculation tying its procurement activities to the tragic murder of Dr. Nahoon Bonilla. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, June 8, 2026.
This donation means a lot to us. It's a huge capacity building. We have a very good condition working ambulance that kind of expands our fleet. We already have one working ambulance, and we have another one now that doubles us. And we have one in repair, so we'll have about 3 or 4 ambulances available. Mr. Furr was kind enough to donate an X-ray machine, and that greatly increases our capacity as well to have X-rays done for our soldiers from various sports injuries and exercise-related injuries. And then we had a defibrillator from him as well, which again will help our doctors to assist not only soldiers, but patients from outside of the Ladyville community as well.
We had the equipment, but we did not have the personality, like that's the professionals on board. So for that reason, it's to be in contact with the BDF medics. So I realized that just bring it together, and then it's about supporting my own country.
Mr. Furr, your generosity demonstrates a profound sense of patriotism, compassion, and commitment to the development of Belize. Your willingness to support the Belize Defense Force reflects your understanding in that the security and well-being of our soldiers is vital to the security and the well-being of Belize.
This is a fantastic feeling to have a new roof over my head, brand new place. This is great.
You like your house? You love it? Pretty.
I'm so happy and excited because I never may expect my new house. Too much months, the rent.
Now Cynthia had this opportunity. Thanks God, and thanks to the People's United Party, and thanks to the program that we push when we won, that we're going to give this starter house to humble families. Well, this is the evidence again.
I know Ms. Rochester is going to make sure that this home serves its purpose. I think she's ready for moving. And I think it's really important because it provides no stability for the entire family.
Not everybody could afford to go to bank, get one loan, and get one house. And this actually helps a lot of people, families, single mothers.
Owning a home transforms a family, and those things they're non-negotiable. You don't compromise on those things. So we have made it abundantly clear that when it comes to our social programs, we don't compromise. When it comes to housing, we're working to see if we can find even more funding to be able to expand this program and to have people have access to a real home.
The Governor of the Central Bank of Belize, Mr. Kareem Michael, in his capacity as Registrar of Credit Unions, hereby informs the public that he has granted approval to the Administrator of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union Limited, Mr. Marley Neal, to convene a special meeting on Sunday, 14 June 2026 at the Corozal Community College in Corozal Town, Belize. At the special meeting, elections will be conducted for a new board of directors and supervisory and credit committees, pursuant to the Registrar's authority under Section 61(9) of the Credit Unions Act CUA. The administrator shall continue to conduct the business of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union for a period of 3 months. The administrator will execute his responsibilities in collaboration with the newly elected Board of Committees to facilitate an orderly transition and to support the continued stability and viability of the St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. This transitional arrangement is intended to ensure the continuity of key measures implemented by the administrator to safeguard members' interests, including maintaining dividend payments to member owners while reducing non-performing loans, strengthening internal controls to minimize operational losses, enhancing the effectiveness of compliance, finance, and internal audit functions, reducing interest rates on home, consumer, and cane loans, modernizing the online banking platform, renovating St. Francis Xavier Credit Union's head office facilities, and expanding community engagement and outreach initiatives. The general membership of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union is strongly encouraged to exercise due diligence in electing qualified and capable individuals who will build on the administrator's efforts to strengthen governance, ensure effective oversight, and promote the credit union's long-term sustainability and profitability. In furtherance of the Registrar's mandate and in accordance with Section 9(1)(a) of the CUA 2023 and 27(2) of the CUA, the Registrar is empowered to conduct due diligence on individuals elected and or appointed to hold any particular position at St. Francis Xavier Credit Union to determine their fitness and propriety. The Registrar remains steadfast in its commitment to maintaining a safe, sound, and resilient credit union sector that operates in full compliance with regulatory standards, fosters public confidence, safeguards the interests of depositors and member shareholders, and contributes meaningfully to financial inclusion and Belize's economic development.
The biggest soccer season is here. Are you ready to experience the front row from home? Experience stadium level immersion with Samsung's latest technology. Perfect for every room. Your favorite Crystal UHD and QLED smart TVs are ready for you. Now at the best price. From your 32-inch personal fan zone at just $369 to the massive 85-inch home stadium experience for only $2,579. We have the perfect upgrade for every fan. Get yours with confidence at Cellular World, the authorized distributor in Belize, and receive a 1-year warranty. Visit us today and take advantage of these promotions. Valid until June 15th. Upgrade to the front row at home. Experience with Samsung and Cellular World.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. 3 people, including 2 brothers, are dead tonight following a tragic road traffic accident in Sartaneja village on Sunday night. The victims have been identified as 33-year-old Godwin Seeley, 24-year-old Ignacio Seeley, and 42-year-old Ismael Chacon. According to police, the Seeley brothers were among 4 persons traveling aboard a tricycle when they were struck by a Ford pickup truck driven by Amadi Gongora. During the collision, Chacon, who was riding his bicycle in the area, was also hit by the pickup truck and died at the scene. Another passenger of the tricycle, Roberto Arceo, remains hospitalized in critical condition at the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, while a female individual also sustained injuries during the incident.
Sartineja police are investigating a fatal road traffic accident which resulted in the death of 3 persons, namely 33-year-old Godwin Seeley, 24-year-old Ignacio Seeley, and 42-year-old Israel Chacon. What we have learned so far is that a male person, being Amadi Gongara, was driving a Ford pickup truck, and upon reaching the corner of Bontoncia Street and Primitiva Aragon Avenue in that village, he allegedly lost control of his vehicle and collided into a tricycle, which was transporting Godwin and Ignacio Seeley, as well as 2 other persons. Also injured in the course of this collision was a 3rd person, namely Mr. Chacon, who was riding a bicycle at the time, and the impact similarly resulted in his untimely demise. We have received information that both parties may have been at a establishment socializing prior to the incident, and that information is being followed upon.
While police have indicated that the driver lost control of the vehicle before colliding with the tricycle, the Seeley family is disputing that account and is calling for a thorough investigation. Marvin Seeley, brother of the deceased men, says witnesses have reported that an altercation had occurred between relatives of the brothers and the driver of the Ford pickup truck shortly before the incident. According to the family, Godwin and Ignacio had only recently arrived in the village and were not involved in the dispute. The family alleges that as the brothers attempted to leave the area on the tricycle, the driver of the truck pursued them and intentionally rammed into the tricycle, resulting in the deaths of the brothers and Chacon.
Mis hermanos salieron a componer otra moto que tenían atrás, que no, moto de trabajo. Pero ellos cuando salen, ellos siempre salen, ellos salen y ganan su tiempo y siempre les gusta beber su cervecita, ¿no? Pero mi hermanito, el que estaba manejando, no estaba tomando, pero el otro, uno sí. Y se toparon con uno de mis primos ahí en Sartineja. Se toparon con uno de mis primos ahí y mis primos estaban tomando. Pero según, porque mis hermanos nunca han tenido problema con nadie. Pero mis primos, según estaban estaban discutiendo con un cuate sobre de carrera de bote, de que no sé quién ganó, no sé quién no sé quién el otro. Estaban discutiendo y según enfrente del chino, ahí se agarraron. Mis primos se agarraron con el cuate que causó el accidente. Y según dicen que la cámara está, cuando dicen que el cuate, primero el cuate pegó a uno de mis primos y él agarró una piedra y se lo mandó, nos dicen, y el otro uno viendo que tocharon a su primo, agarró y lo tumbó en el suelo. Y de ahí los apartaron, quedó así, y se quitaron de ahí del frente del chino. Se iban para buscando el rumbo para donde ellos estaban. Cuando ese hombre agarró una tremenda velocidad atrás de ellos, correteándolo y los chocó por detrás. Pero ellos no conocen al hombre, mis hermanitos no conocen a ese hombre, porque ellos no son de Sartineja. Sí.
So, ellos no son los que tenían problema con él.
No, ellos no tenían problema con él, ningún poquito de problema con él.
Y so, ellos solo estaban trabajando, ¿no? Solo estaban...
Sí, pero bueno, ya, correcto. El problema fueron con los primos que estaban tomando con el otro señor. El problema entre ellos, mi hermanito no tenían que ver nada con eso.
Marvin Seeley maintains that his brothers did not know the driver and were simply caught in the middle of a dispute, and that did not involve them.
Si yo sé que ellos salen, pero ayer cuando me dieron la noticia yo me espanté, digo, no puede pasar, si yo sé que ellos salen, pero si ellos no andan buscando problemas. Él es mi primo, él es una de las personas, uno de los primos que se lastimaron, ellos anduvieron también, él anduvo también encima de la moto según cuando ese cuate vino por detrás. Uno se tiró de la moto, pero él le dio al otro cuate que se piente, pero el otro cuate no se pintó, él estaba en la moto. Cuando el otro cuate vino de atrás y lo agarró de atrás.
Ok, el muchacho Arceo es primo de ustedes también.
Ajá, sí, es primo de cuate de Sardina, es primo con nosotros también.
Ok, so él también estaba en la moto con tus hermanitos.
Ya, seguro.
Ok. Son ellos tres que estaban en la moto.
Ya.
Ok, y él
y el otro cuate que chocaron con bike, pues él estaba saliendo de bike con el bike, según dicen.
Ok.
El otro cuate que mataron, que yo ni sé quién es.
As they continue to mourn the loss of their loved ones, family members are demanding justice and are urging authorities to conduct a full and impartial investigation into the circumstances surrounding the deadly incident.
Que la mera verdad la familia sí le pide justicia por esto, porque yo pienso que esto no se puede quedar así, este hombre va a salir libre y nada le van a hacer.
Sí.
Porque yo pienso que esto no está bien. No está bien, porque no mató solo una persona, mató 3 personas y intencional, según dicen, allí cuando yo llegué en Sartenea, que el hombre cuando acabó de pasar todo esto, el hombre de ahora sí los maté, ahora sí cumplí con lo que quería hacer, los maté, dijo. Pero él pensó que tal vez mató los 4 que tenían problemas con él, pero mató personas equivocadas.
Police investigations into the fatal collision continue. A teenage motorcyclist is dead following a separate road traffic accident over the weekend on the Guinea Grass Road. The victim has been identified as 18-year-old Utemito Pech of Guinea Grass Village. According to preliminary police reports, Pech was riding his motorcycle into the village on Friday evening when he collided with a horse-drawn buggy that was reportedly on the side of the roadway. The impact caused him to lose control of the motorcycle and veer into the path of oncoming traffic. The teenager sustained severe injuries as a result of the collision. Despite efforts to assist him, he later succumbed to his injuries. Police have launched an investigation to determine the exact circumstances surrounding the fatal accident.
Police are investigating a road traffic accident which resulted in the death of 18-year-old Utemito Pech. The investigation commenced at around 9:42 p.m. on Friday, 5th June 2026, when police in Guinea Grass were alerted of the occurrence of a traffic accident near the outskirts of that village. What we have learned so far in the course of the investigation is that Pech was traveling on the highway in the direction of Guinea Grass Village when he collided into the rear of a horse-drawn buggy that was on the far right side of the road. This collision caused Mr. Pech to swerve into oncoming traffic, where he further collided into a SUV that was being driven at the time by one Mr. Garcia. A notice of intended prosecution has since been served on Mr. Garcia and urine samples taken. The collision resulted in the death of Mr. Pech. Police investigation continues.
The tragic incident adds to a weekend marked by several deadly traffic collisions across the country, prompting renewed calls for motorists and road users to exercise caution while traveling on Belize's roadways. The National Health Insurance NHI program has issued a firm public statement to clarify its position amid growing speculation tying its procurement activities to the tragic murder of Belmopan physician Dr. Nawoon Bonilla. In a media release issued on June 8, NHI strongly distancing itself from these claims, emphasizing that any links made between its contracting processes and Dr. Bonilla's death are entirely unfounded, misleading, and without merit. The organization highlighted those recent reports, whether deliberate or due to a lack of understanding, have attempted to connect NHI's procurement activities with the circumstances surrounding Dr. Bonilla's murder and the subsequent arrest of 2 suspects. NHI reiterated that such associations are inaccurate and should not be taken as factual. According to the release, as part of its strategic mission to broaden healthcare coverage across Belize, NHI announced that the Cayo district will be the last to join the program. The organization publicly opened its tender process in February 2025, inviting interested service providers to submit expressions of interest to the Social Security Board headquarters by 4 p.m. on February 18, 2025. Among the applicants was Belmopan Medical Laboratory Services, which submitted an expression of interest. Following the evaluation process, contracts were signed on February 19, 2026, with selected primary care clinics. These clinics were given a 3-month window to register members and hire necessary staff, aiming to commence service provision by the end of June 2026. During this transition period, negotiations regarding pricing and products for support services, including imaging, laboratories, and pharmacies, took place. It was during these negotiations that it was brought to NHI's attention that a business dispute existed between the 2 co-owners of Belmopan Medical Laboratory Services. Consequently, both co-owners were informed that the contract would not be finalized or signed due to the ongoing legal matter. NHI emphasized that while draft agreements are shared with support service providers, no contracts are considered binding or executed until clinics officially begin providing services under the NHI program. Most crucially, NHI categorically denies any current contractual relationship with Belmopan Medical Laboratory Services. The organization states unequivocally that reports claiming the existence of a lucrative signed contract are false. There is no signed or executed agreement between NHI and the laboratory. The organization also calls on the public, media outlets, and all stakeholders to rely on verified facts and accurate information when discussing NHI's operations and procurement activities. Additionally, in relation to statements made by Hannah Foreman in her court affidavit, where she claimed that her successful bid with NHI led Dr. Bonilla to allegedly push her out of the partnership, NHI's recent release reaffirmed that NHI categorically clarifies that the information being disseminated that there is a lucrative signed contract is totally false. There is no contract that has been signed or executed between the National Health Insurance and Belmopan Medical Laboratory Services. Police have a series of special operations conducted across the country over the weekend led to the seizure of several illegal firearms and rounds of ammunition, resulting in multiple charges. In Dangriga, a 21-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of kept firearm without a gun license and 2 counts of kept ammunition without proper documentation after police found him in possession of 2 guns and several live ammos over the weekend.
Police have formally arrested and charged 21-year-old Jalen Nunes of Dangriga Town for 2 counts of kept firearm without a gun license and 2 counts of kept ammunition without a gun license. The arrest follows a joint operation that was conducted by Special Patrol Unit personnel as well as Dangriga QRT and the Gang Intelligence Investigation and Interdiction Unit. The operation was conducted at a residence on Yampa Street on Saturday, 6 June 2026, which led to the discovery of a black in color 9mm pistol, which contained 14 live rounds of 9mm ammunition, and a .38 revolver, which contained 2 live rounds of ammunition.
Jillian, the tragic incident adds a weekend marked by several deadly traffic collisions across the country, prompting renewed calls for motorists and road users. 5 residents of Belize City, including a 17-year-old minor, were also charged in a separate gun charge where police found them in possession of an illegal weapon and several 9mm ammunition.
Police have formally arrested and jointly charged 36-year-old Natasha Hughes, 30-year-old Devon Pratt, 27-year-old Eldon Pratt, 27-year-old Andrew Beiser, and a 17-year-old male minor for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. These charges follow an illegal weapon operations conducted by Special Patrol Unit personnel at a residence on Corral Road in Belize City, which led to the discovery of a 9mm pistol which contained 7 live rounds of 9mm ammunition.
Coming up next, Herman Gilbert Swazo, former Belize ombudsman, files constitutional lawsuit alleging retaliation and undercompensation by government. Stay tuned.
Reunión especial St. Francis Xavier Credit Union Limited. El gobernador del Banco Central de Belice, el señor Karim Michael, en su calidad de registrador de cooperativas de crédito, por este medio informa al público que ha autorizado al administrador de St. Francis Xavier Credit Union Limited, el señor Marley Neal, a convocar una reunión especial. Dicha reunión se llevará a cabo el domingo 14 de junio de 2026 en el Corozal Community College, en el pueblo de Corozal, Belice. En la reunión especial se llevarán a cabo elecciones para una nueva junta directiva, así como para los comités de supervisión y de crédito. De conformidad con la autoridad del registrador bajo la sección 61.9 de la Ley de Cooperativas de Crédito, CUA por sus siglas en inglés, el administrador continuará dirigiendo las operaciones de St. Francis Xavier Credit Union por un periodo de 3 meses. El administrador ejecutará sus responsabilidades en colaboración con la Junta y los comités recién electos, con el fin de facilitar una transición ordenada y apoyar la estabilidad y viabilidad continua de St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. Este acuerdo de transición tiene como objetivo garantizar la continuidad de las medidas clave implementadas por el administrador para salvaguardar los intereses de los socios, entre las que se incluyen mantener el pago de dividendos a los socios propietarios y al mismo tiempo reducir la cartera de créditos morosos, fortalecer los controles internos para minimizar las pérdidas operativas, mejorar la eficacia de las funciones de cumplimiento, finanzas y auditoría interna, reducir las tasas de intereses en los préstamos para vivienda, de consumo y para el sector cañero, modernizar la plataforma de banca en línea, renovar las instalaciones de la oficina principal de la St. Francis Xavier Credit Union y ampliar las iniciativas de vinculación y alcance comunitario. Se exhorta firmemente a la membresía general de St. Francis Xavier Credit Union a actuar con la debida diligencia al elegir a personas calificadas y capaces, quienes continuarán con los esfuerzos del administrador para fortalecer la gobernanza, asegurar una supervisión eficaz y promover la sostenibilidad y rentabilidad a largo plazo de la cooperativa. En cumplimiento del mandato del registrador y en conformidad con las secciones 9.1a de la CUA, enmienda de 2023 y 2027.2 de la CUA, el registrador está facultado para llevar a cabo la debida diligencia sobre las personas electas y o designadas para ocupar cualquier cargo en St. Francis Xavier Credit Union a fin de determinar su idoneidad y honorabilidad. El registrador mantiene firme su compromiso de asegurar un sector de cooperativas de crédito seguro, sólido y resiliente, que opere en total conformidad con las normas regulatorias, fomente la confianza del público, protege los intereses de los depositantes y de los socios propietarios y contribuya de manera significativa a la inclusión financiera y al desarrollo económico de Belice.
I was in Belmopan. Then I used to go do my NHI in Belize. Then I came back home in Palma. And when I found out that NHI was here, I said, right, that's the perfect thing for me. So I don't have to travel, you know? It's very affordable. That's the main point. And you don't have to wait too long. You know, sometimes you go to hospital, you have to go from the morning, whole day. But you come to the NHI at your clinic, you have access for doctors, you do your blood tests, urine tests, everything. I mean, it's very, very affordable. So if they not take the opportunity, they don't want nothing. The doctors, them, the nurses, oh my, they are so, you could question them. They give you answer to everything. And well, me, I see good result. And I have no complaint with the NHI itself. No complaint.
I'm getting older and I need more medical attention, and this is perfect for me, because previous to that I only went to the hospital if I had an emergency. I had a brother-in-law and he was not feeling too good, and he said he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you need to get a good checkup. And he said, but I need to work and make some money so I can address this issue. It happened that we were working by Santana. He got worse. I had to come to New York. The next morning, Carlos, they took him to Belize. Before the day was up, he was dead. His pressure skyrocketed, and he couldn't be helped. He passed away. And that has repeated itself many times, simply because we didn't have what we have now. It's something very good for me. We've never had it before. And I see a lot of people participate. They come and they are grateful, just like myself, that this service is available.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected, to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Over the weekend, Macario Cardenas, a 59-year-old cattle rancher from Douglas Village in the Orange Walk district, reported to the police that about a month ago, 9 of his white-collared cattle heads vanished from his farm, located 3 miles behind San Lorenzo housing site in Orange Walk. Initially, he did not report the theft, believing his cattle might still be within his neighbor's ranch. It was not until Sunday afternoon that Cardenas was alerted by his neighbor that he had found the 3 cattle heads, white in color, in a state of advanced decomposition. These remains were discovered without any attached bodies. Upon inspecting a nearby sugarcane field close to his property, Cardenas identified the 3 heads, one of which bore a tag with the code BZ69-8066 on both ears, an animal he recognized as one of his missing cattle. The other 2 heads lacked tags, making it impossible to confirm whether they belonged to his herd. Additionally, he observed that a section of his barbed wire fencing, which secured his farm, had been tampered with, leading him to suspect theft. Cardenas also disclosed that 8 other cattle are still unaccounted for. The missing cattle is valued at approximately $1,700 Belize dollars, bringing the total estimated loss to around $15,000. Routine patrol that led to a traffic stop. Police officers in Guinea Grass Village, Orange Walk District, apprehended a young man for driving a motorcycle without proper insurance or a valid driver's license. The incident occurred on the evening of Sunday, June 7, 2026, around 8 p.m., when police were patrolling the area and observed a male individual operating a motorcycle without wearing a helmet. Signaling the rider to halt, the officer approached and identified the driver as Abdel Inamir Cruz. When asked to produce his driver's license, Cruz admitted he did not possess one. Further inspection of the motorcycle's registration documents revealed that Cruz also lacked insurance coverage for the vehicle. The police officer informed Cruz of the violations committed: driving a motor vehicle without third-party risk insurance, operating an unlicensed motorcycle, and driving without a valid Belizean driver's license. As a result, Cruz was detained and the motorcycle was impounded. Cruz now faces charges of driving without insurance, operating without a license, and driving without proper authorization. The police continue to emphasize the importance of adhering to traffic safety laws, including the requirement to carry valid insurance and licenses when operating a motor vehicle. Major Herman Gilbert Suazo, the former ombudsman of Belize, has filed a comprehensive constitutional lawsuit challenging the actions of the government's legal authorities. Suazo accuses the Belizean government's executive branch of systematically undercompensating him during his tenure and ultimately orchestrating his removal from office as retaliation for a critical ruling he issued against the Attorney General's office. Legal documents reveal that Suazo's grievances reached a peak in December 2025, mere days before his 3-year term was due to end. In an affidavit submitted to the court, Suazo recounts a pivotal meeting on December 22, 2025, with Henry Usher, the Minister of the Public Service. This meeting took place at the Holy Redeemer Credit Union office. During this encounter, Suazo claims Minister Usher directly addressed concerns related to an adverse decision he had issued under the Freedom of Information Act. The ruling in question involved the disclosure of public expenditure, specifically how taxpayer funds were allocated to private attorneys and law firms involved in a politically sensitive redistricting process. Suazo states that Usher expressed worry about the negative impact of this decision on the government's interest. Suazo further alleges that during the discussion, Usher falsely accused him of not authoring his own decision letter, describing the claim as false and baseless. Reflecting on the interaction, Suazo said, "This meeting made me realize that my role as ombudsman and my decision regarding the FOI request were neither respected nor welcomed by the Belizean government." He emphasized that being called in and spoken to by the chairman of the ruling party served as a clear signal that he was not expected to carry out his duties impartially or independently. Just 2 days following this meeting on Christmas Eve 2025, Suazo received official correspondence from the Cabinet Secretary informing him that his term would conclude on December 31st, 2025. Suazo describes this development as a stark indication that he was not allowed to perform his duties without fear, favor, or bias. I was disillusioned as to the effectiveness of my constitutional office, he states. When approached for comment, Minister Usher acknowledged that he might have said that Suazo was not writing his own official letters, but denied making any statements regarding the FOI ruling, asserting, "I certainly did not say anything about any adverse ruling." Beyond the alleged retaliatory firing, Suazo's lawsuit exposes a troubling issue regarding his remuneration throughout his service. Under the provisions of the Ombudsman Act, the law stipulates that the salary of the ombudsman must not be less than that of a Supreme Court judge. According to a financial memorandum from January 2023, a High Court judge's annual salary is $175,000 Belize dollars tax-free. Contradicting this, the government assigned Suazo a subordinate contract setting his annual salary at only $80,000 Belize dollars, fully taxed, a significant shortfall. In his legal action, Suazo demands full back pay for the salary difference he was unlawfully denied during his 3-year term. Belize's emerging drone industry faces criticism as the Belize National UAS Industry Association, BNUIA, accuses the Belize Department of Civil Aviation, BDCA, of rushing drone regulations through a process they describe as hurried and one-sided. The association contends that this approach could have detrimental effects on the sector's growth and development. The controversy centers around a workshop held on May 21st and 22nd intended to facilitate a detailed line-by-line review of the proposed drone regulations. However, BNUIA claims that what was supposed to be a 2-day collaborative effort was significantly abbreviated. The agenda was reportedly cut short by the day before the event, reducing the review to just a day and a half. Consequently, only 24 of the 55 pages in the draft regulations were examined, leaving 31 pages unaddressed, many of which are said to contain substantial deviations from internationally accepted standards. The association reports that their requests to reconvene and complete the review were dismissed by the BDCA.
We've been attempting to reach out to the Belize Department of Civil Aviation to meet with them, go over the entire document, work line by line to make sure that we get this thing right. We have to get this thing right. In Belize, they say we have a unique air system. Well, if we have a unique air system, then it would be in their best interest to go through it with the stakeholders and all the drone operators to let them know, you know what, hey, this is what we need to do. Belize, again, is, like they say, unique, but what makes it so unique? That's what we've been asking, because there's other Caribbean countries and other Central American countries that has airspace similar to ours. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we need to do is we need to come to common sense regulations that works for Belize. What we had requested in the FOIA is basically statistical data that would have proven from the BDCA why they are being so strict and why the regulations are being overly stringent on the drone operators. Because if you look at that if you look at the actual document, and I've said it in my last interview, the legalese or the verbiage of it is so, the regular person will not understand it. It needs to be understandable. If you can't understand it, how can you follow a rule that you can't understand? There's so many industries right now that are utilizing drones, from mining to GIS, which is mapping. They're doing it for archaeology, they're doing it for conservation, they're doing it for real estate, they're doing it for tourism, they're doing it for cinematography, and so many others. I can't miss agricultural. It is very important in many of these industries, and there's so many industries that have still yet to use drones. Belize is behind the curve when it comes to using drones, but putting or implementing regulations that are not, that basically ground the drone operators is not in the best interest of it, because what's happening is they don't have the technology, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the enforcement to be able to implement, to put something in place, and then behind.
In contrast, Director of Civil Aviation Nigel Carter defended the process, stating that the draft regulations have been under consideration for nearly 11 months. He explained that the document was first released for consultation in July last year, with multiple extensions granted upon industry request, the latest extending the deadline to January 5th. Carter claimed that feedback continued to be accepted beyond that date. He added that all received comments would be carefully evaluated before any final modifications are made. The director emphasized that the BDCA had encouraged stakeholders to review the document thoroughly and submit remaining comments, which they did not do in time for the initial deadline. The association further criticized what they described as a lack of transparency, highlighting a pending Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request submitted on April 24, 2026, which has yet to be acknowledged by the BDCA, the ministry responsible for civil aviation, and other relevant agencies. Carter indicated that the requested information is being compiled and should be shared within another week or so. Finally, BNUIA expressed concern that the proposed regulations merely replicate international standards without considering Belize's specific context. They argued that the process appears driven by a desire to meet international auditing requirements rather than fostering local industry growth. Carter pointed out that the Belize has been obligated to adopt standards from the International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO) since joining the Convention on International Civil Aviation in 1991. He stressed that aligning with global norms is essential for safety and for meeting foreign operators' expectations when flying within Belizean airspace. A powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.4 struck the region of Cuba around midday today, approximately at 12 p.m. The quake's epicenter was pinpointed about 118 kilometers west-northwest of Mantua, Cuba, at a depth of roughly 33 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. The seismic event was strong enough to be felt by residents across parts of Belize, prompting immediate concern and response. In Belize, emergency agencies responded swiftly. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, and the National Meteorological Service promptly assessed the situation. According to an official bulletin from NEMO, there is currently no significant tsunami risk associated with this earthquake, and residents are advised that no protective measures are necessary at this time. Both Belizean agencies continue to keep a close watch on the situation, coordinating with the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC, which provides regional alerts and early warnings for seismic and tsunami threats across the Pacific. As of now, no injuries or major damages have been reported in Cuba. Cuban authorities, through state media, are still collecting information from affected areas to determine if any additional issues have arisen. The situation remains under observation as officials monitor for potential aftershocks or other developments. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
This is a fantastic feeling to have a new roof over my head, brand new place. This is great.
You like your house? You love it? Pretty.
I'm so happy and excited because I never may expect my little house. Too much months, the rent.
Now Cynthia had this opportunity, thanks God and thanks to the People's United Party and thanks to the program that we push when we won, that we're going to give this starter house to humble families. Well, this is the evidence again.
I know Ms. Rochester is going to make sure that this home serves its purpose. I think she's ready for moving. And I think it's really important because it provides now stability for the entire family.
Not everybody could afford to like go to bank, get one loan and get one house. And this actually helps a lot of people, families, single mothers.
Owning a home transforms a family, and those things they're non-negotiable. You don't compromise on those things. So we have made it abundantly clear that when it comes to our social programs, we don't compromise. When it comes to housing, we're working to see if we can find even more funding to be able to expand this program and to have people have access to a real home.
This donation means a lot to us. It's a huge capacity building. We have a very good condition working ambulance that kind of expands our fleet. We already have one working ambulance, and we have another one now that doubles us. And we have one in repair, so we'll have about 3 or 4 ambulances available. Mr. Furr was kind enough to donate an X-ray machine, and that greatly increases our capacity as well to have X-rays done for our soldiers from various sports injuries and exercise-related injuries. And then we had a defibrillator from him as well, which again will help our doctors to assist not only soldiers, but patients from outside of the Ladyville community as well.
We had the equipment, but we did not have the personality, like the professionals on board. So for that reason, it's to be in contact with the BDF medics. So I realized that just bring it together, and then it's about supporting my own country.
Mr. Furr, your generosity demonstrates a profound sense of patriotism, compassion, and commitment to the development of Belize. Your willingness to support the Belize Defense Force reflects your understanding in that the security and well-being of our soldiers is vital to the security and the well-being of Belize.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
In a significant move to bolster its radiation safety measures, Belize recently hosted a high-level in-country expert visit from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, from June 1st to the 4th, 2026. Organized by the Department of the Environment, DOE, within the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change, and Solid Waste Management, with support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MFA, this initiative marks a critical milestone in Belize's ongoing commitment to nuclear safety. The visit underscores Belize's dedication to fulfilling its obligations under the 2020 Radiation Safety and Security Act and its broader commitments under the Code of Conduct on the Safety and Security of Radioactive Sources. This international framework mandates that countries take comprehensive measures to safeguard radioactive materials throughout their life cycle, ensuring they are managed securely and responsibly, both in active use and after decommissioning. As Belize continues to harness the peaceful potential of nuclear technology, especially in agriculture, construction, and healthcare, the nation is prioritizing the safe and secure handling of disused sealed radioactive sources, DSRS. Aiming to safeguard public health and protect the environment, the government is developing a national strategy and action plan for the proper storage and management of these sources. Part of this effort involves identifying a suitable centralized storage site until a long-term solution can be implemented. During the visit, IAEA experts in collaboration with DOE certified personnel toured several facilities nationwide holding disused radioactive sources. They evaluated current storage practices and offered strategic recommendations to enhance both immediate safety and future management capabilities. The insights gained will inform Belize's efforts to establish a centralized temporary storage facility, an essential step towards minimizing risks associated with radioactive materials. Looking ahead, the DOE plans to implement the IAEA's recommendation and is already planning a follow-up visit dedicated to establishing a secure, centralized storage solution for disused radioactive sources. This proactive approach aims to eliminate potential exposure hazards, protecting both human health and the environment. A vessel laden with 1,700 tons of food and humanitarian supplies sourced from Mexico and Belize has arrived at a Cuban port, providing much-needed relief during a challenging period for the island nation. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel announced the ship's arrival on Sunday, highlighting the collective effort behind the aid. He expressed gratitude for the support, noting that it came from government officials, international allies, and Cubans living abroad. We appreciate the supportive embrace in such difficult times, he posted on X, formerly Twitter. This humanitarian shipment arrives as Cuba faces one of its most severe economic crises in recent history. The country has been grappling with an energy blockade imposed by the United States, which took effect in late January and has severely disrupted oil imports. The resulting shortages have caused widespread power outages and strained the island's food supplies. Bruno Rodriguez, Cuba's Foreign Affairs Minister, described the aid as a symbol of solidarity. He emphasized its importance for Cubans who are heroically resisting the brutal energy blockade, the extreme intensification of the embargo, and the military threat from the U.S. government. This recent delivery is just one of several shipments reaching Cuba in recent weeks. On Friday, Colombia's Presidential Agency for Cooperation announced that a vessel carrying approximately 100,000 tons of supplies, including food, had left for Cuba. Additionally, a ship jointly operated by Mexico and Uruguay docked in Havana at the end of last month, further underscoring international support for the island during these difficult times. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, June 9th here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.